From the beginning, SANS has been a mission-driven organization. We want to make the world a safer place.
At SANS, we've always had this focus on empowering cybersecurity professionals with the real-world, practical skills they need.
Our courses, certifications, cyber ranges, college, scholarship programs, community resources, they all maintain the highest standards in the cybersecurity training and certification community.
And as a teacher, as a mentor, it's so rewarding to have that role in making it happen. You'll get more value from a SANS class than any other training course easily.
Hello and welcome. My name is Steve Nahart. I am the Director of Content here at the SANS Institute. You're joining us live on the floor at the RSA Conference. We are in SANS booth 3416. If you're here in San Francisco, we invite you to come on over and say hello. If you're tuning in, we are streaming live across YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter. We encourage you to go ahead and scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the comments to see the schedule of all the live streams that we have happening this week. I am so very excited to be welcoming an amazing leader and cybersecurity trailblazer, Mr. Ed Skoudis.
Oh, thank you, Stephen.
Thank you so much for being here. Ed is the president of the SANS Technology Institute, a premier college offering career-focused undergraduate, certificate, and graduate programs at the cutting edge of cybersecurity. Ed is also a SANS Institute Fellow and Director of Cyber Ranges. Now, the ranges he and his team create have enabled more than 40,000 cybersecurity professionals to learn advanced techniques in pen testing, incident response, cyber defense, default, and much more. He also leads development of NetWars, the low-cost, widely used cyber training and simulation ranges relied upon by military and corporate enterprises to prepare for critical threats. Additionally, he leads a team that creates the SANS Holiday Hack Challenge, hosting over 19,000 people annually in this free community event. I am so excited to have you here. Did I leave anything out of your bio?
That was great, Stephen. Thank you so much. It's great to see you again. Great to be here at the SANS booth. RSA Conference 2022.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fresh off the stage.
Yeah, we just did the keynote panel, the SANS panel. It's about 15 years we've been doing that. So I just left the stage, had a quick bite to eat. I was joined on stage by amazing presenters. We had Katie Nichols go first. This was her second year on the panel. Yeah. We had Johannes Ulrich go second. He has been on the panel since the very start, 15 years ago or so. Then we had Heather Mahalik. She's been on the panel for 5 or 6 years. And we had a brand new addition, Rob T. Lee, the SANS curriculum lead, the lead of all the curriculum leads. He was on stage presenting on hacking satellites. It was pretty awesome, and I hope some of the viewers here got a chance to see that. If not, it was recorded, and RSA will make it available so you can watch it anytime.
Fantastic.
Yep.
So we are talking today about a very special person, somebody who's very near and dear, not only inside of SANS, but in the cybersecurity community.
It's true.
Mr. Alan Pollard. I wanted to ask you to share with our audience, so many of us know who Alan is. Right. So many don't. Right. Could you share who is Alan Pollard?
So Alan Pollard's official title, he was never really big on titles, right? was he was the director of research at the SANS Institute. Director of research, that's it. He was the founder and inspiration and visionary and guiding force for SANS and many other elements in the cybersecurity industry. He was just a fountain of great ideas. I mean, he created this training organization, the SANS Institute. Awesome. And I remember, I've known Alan for 23 years, 24 years now. And for those that don't know, Alan passed away November 9th of 2021. So it's about 7 months ago or so.
Yeah.
We miss him dearly.
Yeah.
But Alan, in addition to creating the SANS Institute, I remember he came up to me once, 1999, maybe 2000, and he was literally bouncing. He would bounce up to me, Ed, I've got an idea, Well, what's your idea? We're going to do certification. Certification? We're a training institute. Yeah, but when a boss sends somebody to training, they need to know that that person learned something. And who better to measure that than an organization we'll create called GIAC. So you've got SANS and GIAC. And then I remember a few years, well, actually around that time, he also came running up to me, Ed, I got an idea. What if we had sensors all over the planet and we had a series of volunteer incident handlers that would watch over those sensors, and if a big attack happens, we can write things up. And I got this guy that we can hire to run the whole thing for us. His name is Dr. Johannes Ulrich. He's a PhD in X-ray optics. And I'm like, X-ray optics? I mean, can we really do this? He's like, yes, we're going to call the whole thing the Internet Storm Center, right? And he would do this all the time, just coming up with new ideas, new things. I remember he came to me, I don't know, this might have been 15 years ago. Ed, I've got an idea. What's your idea? We're going to make a college. A college? Yeah, why a college? We're a training institute with certification organization, got the Internet Storm Center, and many other things. He said, because we can help more people in a more in-depth fashion. Somebody might take a SANS class every year or every 2 years, maybe 2 a year, but if we can put them through a college program where we can help teach them and build them up to be cybersecurity leaders, and that gave rise to the SANS Technology Institute. And it was in April of last year that Alan called me on the phone and said, would you think about, because he was the president of the college.
Yes.
And he came to me and said, would you think about taking that over? And I was floored. I had to think about it for a while. I said, don't answer right now. I'll give you a week or so. And I talked with my family about it, and I talked with some friends, and I've been delighted to be the president of the SANS Technology Institute since September 1st. So, but Alan, so he was this visionary, this creative man, and a lot of people will say that about him, but he was also a kind, caring, generous man. So many people, he touched their lives. I mean, we're talking tens of thousands of people. And I was thinking about this, you could say inspiration, and that's true. I think there's a better word for it, uplifting. Because inspiration, you could be inspired by George Washington. You never met him, you don't know. George Washington, he's not involved in your life, right? Or, think, I love Aretha Franklin. I'm inspired by Aretha Franklin, right? She's pretty badass, right? But has she lifted me up? Not really, right? Yeah. So, but uplifting is more active than just doing your own thing and you're inspiring other people. Alan uplifted people, and he would be actively involved in people's lives, and he cared deeply. Whenever you met him, he'd ask, how's your family? And he'd remember the family, he'd remember their names and the kids' names, and your daughter's what, 10 now, right? It's like, wow. He's right, or she's 9 or 11, but he's darn close, right? So, so Alan, he changed the world and made it a more safe and secure place. And I'm forever indebted to him. And so many other people are as well.
Wow. You don't meet people like that every day.
No. He's very rare. And James Line, the CTO of SANS, says of Alan that, he was relentlessly motivational. He was so really trying to make the world safer and better and to build people up to do that. I remember the first time I met Alan. So this was in 1999.
Wow.
Okay, so what is that, 23 years ago, I guess.
Yeah.
And I was getting those SANS brochures in the mail, like people still get sometimes, and I heard about SANS. I'd never taken a class there yet, and I always wanted to go, and the SANS instructors, oh my goodness. I wanted to learn from them, and a friend of mine was a SANS instructor, Dr. Gene Schultz. He taught Windows at SANS in the mid-90s, up to the late 90s. And he said, hey, I've got this friend named Alan Paller, and you really should meet Alan. So he got me on the phone with Alan, and Alan was charming, interesting, fascinating. Alan said, can you come and do an evening session at SANS Baltimore Inner Harbor, May 19th, 1999? And I said, sure. So I went to Baltimore Inner Harbor. I had prepared a session on hacker attacks. Now at the time, SANS didn't present on hacker attacks. It was like, we don't want, we're concerned that if we present too much on this, bad guys might learn stuff and we can't do that. I mean, later, SANS realized that no, we do need to understand what the attackers are up to so we can defend against it accurately and such. But so I went into this room to do my presentation, a 90-minute talk on hacker attacks. And there were 300 people in the room, including Alan Paller and Stephen Northcutt.
I imagine that was pretty big back then.
Yeah, I mean, the event itself might have been 700 or 800 people, but 300 of them showed up for this evening talk.
Wow.
And so I'm doing my presentation. I'm presenting my heart out. This is like, Alan's there, and I'm super excited, and I want to give it my all. And about 10 minutes into my talk, I noticed something. I kind of looked down, and my shoe's untied. Now, what are you going to do? Look, at the time, I know this is not a thing for you, but for me it was an issue. I was balding a little bit, so you don't want to reach down in front of the audience and your bald spot. It was just a little bit at the time. Is exposed to tie your shoe, and it interrupts the whole flow, and so I'll just ignore it, right? Problem? Ignore it.
Yeah.
About 10 minutes after that, a guy in the front row raises his hand. Yes, sir. He's like, your shoe's untied, your shoe's untied. Oh crap, now I have to react to it.
Attention to it.
Yes, because if I don't, for the rest of my talk, I'm 20 minutes in, I got 70 minutes, more than an hour to go, everybody's going to look at my shoe.
Right.
And be focused on, will he trip or not?
Right.
So I thought to myself, well, I got to deal with this right now. So I apologized to the front couple of rows, and I said, I hope my feet do not have an odor. I tried to say it very appropriately, but I apologize to you if they do. And then with a lot of flamboyance, I kicked my shoes off. And the whole audience started applauding at me being, in my stocking feet in front of them, and I just continued to present. But afterwards,
Where was Alan? And was he there?
He was in the middle. Yeah, he wasn't sitting in the front, thankfully. I might not be here today, but he was in the front row. But afterwards, people seemed happy, and I went up to Alan, and I said, "So, what'd you think?" And he had these things that he would say when he was happy. One of the things he would say is, "Nice, nice," and he always say it that way. Not just nice, but nice, or wonderful. Not wonderful, wonderful. So I asked him, "So, what'd you think?" Nice. Nice, nice. And then I got invited, so that was in May, and SANS events didn't run as often at that time. So I got invited to their next big event, which was in October in New Orleans. And there they let me present for a whole day. So I got a full day class in, and then it just kind of built from there. And I got to know Alan more and more over the years, and to see his great work and efforts. There are other organizations that he helped to found, the Center for Internet Security.
Yes.
This idea that can we publish a set of recommendations and standards and such to help make the world a safer, more secure place. I don't want to do short shrift to all the different organizations that he was instrumental in helping to found. Cyber Fast Track, is there a way that we can help equip kids, young people in high school and such, with things that they can learn from, and also competitions that they can earn scholarships from. These were the ideas of Alan, plus so many other people that he brought into his orbit to help him, make the world safer and more secure. If you look at the NetWars project, that was Alan calling me on the phone saying, hey, we need to build a range environment so people can learn hands-on. That was another big Alan trait. He didn't want to have people who were merely book smart in cybersecurity or merely able to talk about cybersecurity. Hands-on keyboard skills, actual things they could do. Even if you look at the SANS instructor corps, right, our faculty. Practitioners.
Yeah.
We really don't want to have people that only know how to teach. We want to have people who know how to do cybersecurity that are also exceptional teachers. And that ran through everything Alan did. So that's why Cyber Fast Track became a part of this sort of SANS family. But all through these different organizations that Alan would inspire or help spin up. And Alan would get requests all the time from various charities and government agencies and such for support on certain initiatives. And it was just phenomenal working with Alan. I'm sad that he's gone. I miss my friend. He was a mentor. He was in many ways like a father to me.
Yeah.
I miss him tremendously, but it is good to reflect, I think, on all the great things he did.
As I'm listening to you, I realize just how much experiences, 2 decades plus of experiences and wisdom passed on.
So many Alan stories.
I watched, a couple years ago, watched a play, Hamilton,
Yes.
at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C.
That's awesome.
And in one of the songs there, it was said, your legacy are the seeds you plant in a garden you likely never see.
Wow, that's heavy.
And as I listen to you talk about Alan, there's so many seeds he planted
Yes.
that will, have beared fruit, but so many more, right, for generations to come,
Yeah.
right? He's left behind such a mark.
He really has. Yeah.
And as a visionary myself, right, like, you just like highlighted the greatest of visionaries.
He's really, really incredible. And this RSA conference, we're reflecting on his contributions, and there's so many Alan stories, so many stories of how he met somebody just once and really inspired them, and or gave them a bit of advice.
Share one of those stories with us.
Oh, there's so many, countless ones. So somebody just told me yesterday, it was a young lady that I saw at the conference, and she came up to me because she knew I knew Alan. And she said, let me tell you my Alan story. I'm like, okay, please. And she said, I was brand new to cybersecurity 5 or 6 years ago at the RSA Conference, and I didn't know who this guy was. And he came up to me and said, hello, I'm Alan Powell. And she introduced herself, and he asked, what she was doing. She said, I'm new to cybersecurity. My background is this is what I have my education in, and so forth. And she told me, she said, he gave me all kinds of advice. I didn't know this guy. Just kind of, hey, you might want to look into this, and have you thought about that? And I could introduce you to this person and this person. So he saw some spark in this woman, and she said she's never seen anything like it before. And he really uplifted her and kind of got her going. So she came up to me yesterday and said, hey, I want to tell you this. And I've been hearing a lot of that. Also the other thing about Alan, he would ask really hard questions. Now, the questions on the surface were pretty easy conceptually, but if you realize the deeper thing he's trying to get at, it's like, whoa, you got to really think about that. And sometimes I'd go to Alan with what I thought were fantastic ideas, and he would not say nice, he would not say wonderful, but he wouldn't yell at me either. He'd start asking really hard questions, like, have you thought about this? And what about that? And what about this? And it's like, I guess my idea's not so good, But
so do you sit now and as you're stepping into your role, how much do you think, what would Alan do?
I think about it all the time.
Yeah?
I think about it all the time. And I can't fill his shoes. No one can. But I want to honor the man. I want to represent his legacy. Not solely. We all do that.
Absolutely.
Not only just the SANS Institute, but so many people in the industry at large. And I often do think, what would Alan say here? When Alan first asked me if I could become the president of the college, I said, so in your view, what is my job? And he said, one is to be a face of things.
Yeah.
Alan Powell never liked to be a face of things. He didn't want to be. He wanted to find other people to promote and put in front of things. You're doing a great job, Stephen, with your stuff, right?
Yeah.
So he said, kind of be the face of the college, right? But also, there's 2 other things you need to do. He said, you need to, and I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this, but he said, you need to look at where the college is screwing up, and get on the phone and call them and say, stop that right now, right? And yell at them. Now, I don't yell, but I can call him and say, Alan would have told me to tell you this.
Right.
But he said also find the stuff that the college is doing really, really well and call them and say, this is fantastic, and keep doing this, do more like this and more of this. And so it was nice that he kind of gave me that sort of guidance in what I should do. And I've been loving it. My time with the college, it's some of the best times I've had in my career. I got another little Alan Powell story. So
Absolutely.
This was one time before we went on the big stage at RSA Conference. I think it was maybe the first time we were on the keynote stage, which was 2017. So it's 5, 6 years ago. And Alan, before we went up on stage, he wanted to introduce us. And he came to me and he said, Ed, and he went to each of the other panelists and said this, Johannes and so
Yeah.
forth. He came to me and said, Ed, tell me the thing you are most proud of in your career. Because he wanted to ask that and then announce that. And I said, can you not phrase it that way? Because that makes me very uncomfortable. Can you please phrase it as, what is the thing you are most grateful for having been able to participate in your career? So that's what Alan asked me. And I said, without batting an eye, SANS Security 504, the hacker attacks and incident handling class. And then he said, why? And I said, I'm most thankful for having worked on that because I think it touched more people in a more positive way than anything I've ever had the honor of working on. And he seemed happy about that. But now I reflect back on that. That was 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
504, and now I've handed off 504. We handed it off to John Strand,
Yeah.
and he ran it and updated it and such for a decade. I created the original class. Then we handed it to Strand, and then about 3-4 years ago, maybe 4 years ago now, we handed it off to Josh Wright.
Yeah.
And these folks have taken it to the next level, way beyond where I had it, and it's so good. Great course. But thinking back on when I told Alan, 504, right? Now I look back, I've been 9 months in the job of the president of the college. I could see it perhaps someday. I might say, if you ask me that same question, what are you most thankful for having worked on? It's probably the SANS Technology Institute, this college thing. We have 1,300 students now. It's growing fast. It's changing people's lives in a really positive way. It's a tremendous amount of work. I mean, we have our master's program, so you can get a master's degree in cybersecurity engineering. We have a bachelor's program. It's a new thing, just a couple years old. Our bachelor's program, so you get a bachelor's degree in cybersecurity. We also have certificate programs, both at the undergraduate and graduate level, where you'll take 3 or 4 classes and get your certificate. And we're helping with those students, and we're also helping employers find the students with the great skills, which is a great thing to be a part of. Also, there's another thing that we did. If you look at SANS Technology Institute College, we benefit from the great faculty of the SANS Institute. Same faculty, right?
Yeah.
We benefit from the great curriculum of the SANS Institute.
Absolutely.
Same curriculum.
Yeah.
Same curriculum plus plus. You do have to do extra projects and such, and you have to work with other students. So that's all great. So what we did is to say, to give a great college experience to people, we need a fantastic college staff. So one of the things that we've done over the last 2 years, during the pandemic and such, is we went to a bunch of the brick and mortar colleges that were rapidly trying to convert into virtual and remote learning and stuff, but kind of fumbling as they did that. It was hard. Where we've been doing it for 15 years already.
Yes.
So we hired their best staff. We cream skimmed from the brick and mortar
Right,
colleges,
right.
say, giving us your best counselors and advisors and people that can, really help students achieve greatness. So it's the faculty, the curriculum, SANS Institute, plus the staff of the college. I'm proud of them and thankful to be a small part of that. So, and I owe all of that to Alan Paller, no doubt.
That is amazing. So listen, we are a little bit beyond time, but I just wanted to ask
My
you
fault.
one more question. That's
Yes.
fine. Tell us about the award that you accepted today on behalf of Alan at
So,
RSA.
and it was on behalf of Alan and his family.
Yes.
So Alan Paller was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award by the RSA Conference. And it was deeply touching and moving. Alan changed so many lives. Within 2 days of Alan's passing, we got a call from the leadership of RSA Conference saying we would like to do this. Our mind was blown. I mean, look, we believe Alan really, truly earned this and deserved this honor. But they so quickly said, we want to do this. Are you okay with it? Well, of course we're okay with it. We talked with Alan's family, though. Wanted to make sure his wife and his daughters were totally in alignment with it. They were. And it was really, in celebration of Alan's life and contributions and his impact on the industry. So, his family and SANS asked if I would, accept that award being handed to me. But I was just a vessel. I was a vessel acting on behalf of Alan's family, his wonderful wife, his amazing daughters, and SANS more generally. So I worked with his daughters to create a little paragraph. They wrote most of it. I did a couple tweaks here and there, just to thank the community and RSA Conference for their recognition of what this great man did. So.
Ed, thank you so much for sitting and talking with me. I've learned a bunch today talking with you. I appreciate you being here with us.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Listen, we still have, I believe, 3 more live streams today and 2 tomorrow. So do me a favor. If you're tuned in virtually, you're not here at the show, do me a favor, go ahead and scan the QR code on screen or click the link in the comments below to look at the schedule of our upcoming live broadcasts. You can actually set a reminder to be notified when those live broadcasts happen. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next broadcast.
Thank you.
From the beginning, SANS has been a mission-driven organization. We want to make the world a safer place.
That's one of the reasons why so many incredibly talented, highly respected security experts have wound up teaching here.
The instructors you find in the classroom are not only renowned security practitioners, but they also excel in mentoring.
At SANS, we've always had this focus on empowering cybersecurity professionals with the real-world, practical skills they need, not just to evolve and grow in their careers, but ultimately develop expertise that's going to help change the world.
It's made me more excited about being in cybersecurity just because there is so much going on. And so, getting connected and understanding, just kind of, what's new and what's out there, that's what SANS brings, and that's awesome.
Our courses, certifications, cyber ranges, college, scholarship programs, community resources, they all maintain the highest standards in the cybersecurity training and certification community.
At SANS, you're surrounded by a network of cybersecurity experts who help you learn. We want to help you solve a problem and teach you the skills to solve your future problems.
And we're really proud of the community we've created, which has practitioners from around the globe coming together to share knowledge to stay at the cutting edge of adversary tactics and defense techniques.
If you're considering taking your first SANS course, just do it. I don't know how else to say it other than just do it. I was super nervous when I took my first. I did not know what to expect. But when you come here, it doesn't matter what level you are, from beginner to intermediate to advanced to expert. I'm going to say you're going to pick up on something from either the instructors or the students, because the level of expertise and the level of education that you get here, you cannot get anywhere else.
SANS students are learning the skills they need to change the world.
To make the world a safer place.
And as a teacher, as a mentor, it's so rewarding to have that role in making it happen. You'll get more value from a SANS class than any other training course easily.